This is Jack Darling, one half of the future PWP Tag Team Champions, and you're watching Drinkin and Bowls.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinkin' Mo's. If you watch on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications because, heck, my month of May is starting to fill up and we haven't even gotten to May yet. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Be sure to leave a rating. That'll help out the show. Today, we got with us somebody I'm excited about. He's got a big show coming up here for PWP. Benson at the waiting room.
Right.
Jack Darling, how you doing?
Doing good, Mo. Thanks for having me on. I brought an extra large sweet tea on ice just for you tonight.
Ooh, I do like me a sweet tea. I mean, most of my first year in the Navy was spent down south with like the real stuff. So, you know.
Ain't nothing like the real thing they used to say. So,
oh yeah.
Moonshine does the drinking, so he's pulling double duty for both of us.
Hey, I mean, I've done some drinking with the guy, and yeah, he can do enough for two.
Scary not alcohol. Scary man. Drinks double.
But hey.
So.
But hey, like I've always said about the show, just because it says drinking it, Mo, doesn't mean the drink's got to be alcoholic.
That's right.
All right. So first thing I normally like to get started off with is asking how you got started as a fan of pro wrestling, and then how you got started in your career, your training, and so on.
All right. Well, I have been a fan of professional wrestling since I was I'd say about 3 or 4 years old. Can't remember who was wrestling. I remember WWF at the time had a weekend recap show called Superstars. And they would they'd go through things of the week, and I think it was people like, what's his name, Paul Mooney, and a whole bunch of people would come on and do little vignettes, and they'd replay videos, and for some reason I wanted to learn more. So I sat on the couch and sat on Mom's bed and watched nothing but the wrestling until, I was well into my teenage years, and was a big NWO Wolfpack guy in high school, but I didn't want to tell anybody because everybody had the black and white. So I
was more of a Wolfpack guy myself, so
I was definitely a huge Wolfpack fan. The thing that surprised me, even Sting was, and Sting, I've looked since I first started WCW, way back in the early 80s.
All right.
86, 85, 86 when I really started to pay attention.
Gotcha.
So I love the Surfer Sting, and then they put him in red and black face paint. I was like, this is the guy who turned away the NWO. Now he's apparently it was a color issue. It was a color scheme.
I guess so. Yeah, that is a little interesting myself.
But I've always been a fan of professional wrestling since I was very young. When I was about 34, I walked out of a pretty horrible job. I've been doing customer service jobs since I was 14. Decided it was time to change and do some things that I've always wanted to do while I can still do them. And, I was gently directed into the path of a fantastic, amazing person by the name of Nate Bloggett. Everyone in the wrestling community is known as Strife. We met at a Best Buy. He was returning a projector that had blown out. And when you see Jason Strife kind of walking through a Best Buy with his glasses on and throwing out a projector, my first thought was, really? This guy's gonna... And then that that spark lit as soon as, we got to the first day of training and he was ready to roll. I was like, oh, okay, this is something here. I didn't really follow local independent professional wrestling until I started training. I was always a TV fan. WCW, ECW, WWE, Impact. I like the fact that in the comfort of my own home, I could sit this and be entertained, and you get the camera cuts, and you don't get to see all of us botching and acting like idiots sometimes. But yeah, I started training with Jason Strife, Magnum Pro Wrestling, the Magnum Dojo, and haven't looked back, really. I've been eternally grateful to Jason Strife for his dealing with my pain in the ass attitude. It's always a pleasure to deal with me at certain days. Just kind of spread my wings and looking for other places to wrestle, and found a home in PWP because it's close to where my family had a business for over 80 years in Omaha. It just feels like home, and every time I go in there, it's go time, it's show time.
Yep, I remember. Speaking of Jason Strife, I'm actually going to be having him on the show here the first week of May. Pretty excited about that. I met him when I was stationed in San Diego at a show up in Oceanside, which is just north of there. And he mentioned about having a promotion up here. So when I came back, I looked him up, and well, here we are.
Jason, he is hands down one of the best people to sit under the learning tree for. He knows every twist, turn, possible route you could take, and he knows every back road, back alley you can pretty much partake him in. I'm just honored to say that I got to train with him and I got to learn under him.
It would be hard to argue that there's a more knowledgeable person about the business as a whole in this area than him. That
absolutely,
hands down.
Absolutely.
Then, yeah, I've been to so many shows of theirs, and never been disappointed. They put on a great product. And speaking of PWP, PWP has a special place in my heart. That's where I ended up meeting my wife. Mm-hmm. And some of y'all down there been like family. Like Brandon Juarez, he's been
Why
like.
did you bring him up?
Why?
Really?
So I know the whole thing, the messengers and all that. And I know
Brand's a great guy. Really, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I mean, on the real, yeah. I mean, him with the messengers. I know I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Well, I don't have a problem messing with him. I think he messes with me.
Yeah. But he's been like a big brother. Like, I might technically be older than him, but he's been like a big brother.
Somebody older than Brendan Juarez? I had to take a poke. It's got. I'm gonna get a lot of heat with him later, but that's okay.
But I mean, I turned 39 this July.
All right. I just turned 39 myself.
Oh, all right. All right.
Pushing 40.
Yeah, pushing it. I don't want to be reminded of that too much. But anyways, you mentioned talking about training. What would you think is like the hardest part? Because a lot of people, I think, underestimate how hard the training for pro wrestling can be.
The hardest part of training to be a professional wrestler. Now, I can only speak from just this body. And this body should have started about 10 years earlier. Because I mean, like most people, starting out in their 30s, you just came out of your 20s and you still think you're a little, you can still go a little bit. So you test yourself in your 30s. But you don't exactly have the same car you used to drive,
Oh, yeah.
So for me, training in my 30s, it was basically keeping up with some of the younger generation. That was the hardest. Wrestling has changed so much from when I started watching. It used to be, you used to have a lot more rest holds. You used to have a lot of joint manipulation, and you'd save the big slam for another time. Now it's do this, run here, he goes over here, he jumps up at the top rope and does 3 flips. And can't do that.
That's a lot.
So I guess part of that too is deciding what you can and can't do. Being real with yourself and what you can and can't do. There have been people who I've talked to who have just, who have come into the business recently. I won't throw anyone under the bus on this one, but guys who are $195 thinking they can pick up the 295-pound guy and slam him, and know what you can and know what you can't do. You don't want to be 110 pounds soaking wet and overpower people. I don't see that happening. I don't see him walking up to the big show and doing test of strength and pushing it down. I don't see it. So you got to be honest with yourself. And sometimes self-honesty is the big kick in the face. I can't jump the way I used to in my 20s. So I don't do it that often. When I was younger, I was scared of heights. I got over that. And now I'm still a little scared of heights, especially at my age. But I learned through training to get over some of those fears. And that's what you can do. But you first have to be honest with yourself. I can do this. I can do that. Okay. Good. Show me. No, that doesn't really work. Try something else. Being honest with yourself is nice.
I can get you because, being honest with yourself, because the real trick with professional wrestling, as far as what I've always understood, is suspending people's disbelief. Like, most people know the predetermined nature, and you want to be able to make people, as they're watching, be like, you know what, I know that about this, but that I don't know about that.
As far as the suspension of disbelief, it's much harder now in kind of this digital age to suspend a certain level of disbelief, because everybody thinks that you can go on whatever search engine you have and look up secrets of pro wrestling, whatever, and there'll be people talking about things that if you would have talked about them in the 60s or 70s, probably would have gotten you beat up by a locker room full of people who were very unhappy with you.
I would have to agree.
The thing with suspending disbelief and being able to have an audience, buy what you're selling, is you have to believe it first.
Mm-hmm.
If the people who are putting on the performance or who are fighting each other don't actually believe it for a little bit, audience won't believe a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're so caught up in, okay, what's next? What's this? Okay, what are you doing? Why am I going upside down? And you just sit there and go, what am I doing? What is the end goal here? What kind of emotion do I want to get out of the audience? And if you don't believe that you can do that for a second, the audience isn't going to follow you.
I totally get you.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the great thing about pro wrestling. Sometimes you don't even have to believe you're getting beat up, because you are.
Yeah. People don't really understand that sometimes even a simple bump or fall in that ring hurts.
Yep, somebody hit something you're not prepared for, or they step in about an inch or too close on a kick you in the face. Yeah, it's really not hard at that point to make you believe you just kicked me in the face. We try not to do that, but accidents, as they say, will happen.
True. And like you said, if you don't believe in yourself, the crowd is definitely not going to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
So, true statement there. As far as Jack Darling goes, what inspired that?
Jack Darling, Jack Darling originally came out of what I did before I started training. When I quit my job, I started doing a bucket list. Just things I wanted to do that I'd never done, that were for me. I recorded an album of music I've been writing for about 14 or 15 years, and mastered it and put it out there for sale. It went wood. I think it sold 3 copies, 2 of which I bought for friends and sold them, shipped to them. But the other thing was I went through a camping trip through 3 different states. I went through Colorado, I went through Arizona, and Angeles National Forest in California. And it was basically just a week out in those areas, in national forests and national parks, 50, 60-pound bag full of everything I'd possibly need for the trip. Arrived by bus, walked to wherever I was going, spend a week out in God's wilderness, come back, and meet at the same bus stop, hop on a bus, take it to the next spot. And the whole time, I brought my favorite book with me, which was the Dharma Bum, which is a Jack Kerouac book about basically homeless camping lifestyle out in California, seen by Jack Kerouac when he lived out there, riding the trains and going up mountains and just living a carefree life.
Okay.
So when I started training, I told Strife I want to be Jack Dharma. Jack Dharma he was going to be this just wild man and backpacker roaming around who just happened to stumble into a wrestling ring. And Strife told me there was somebody already named. There was a couple people already named Dharma. It might be confusing. I was like, all right, fine, Darling. There was another D. I had the JD for some reason stuck in my head, and
gotcha.
It went from being this kind of hippie roadie to instantly, okay, beard, a country boy who likes to have fights and bite people on the ear. And where are you going to be from? South. Fine. Nobody will believe me. The first year. I had the worst Southern accent, like the worst Cajun bio. They wanted me to talk like the coach from from The Water Boy. Yeah. You want to go down there? We go get the big old fire and sit down in the bench. And I was like, I can't do this because I'll start laughing. So Jax kind of rolled around a little bit. That's the reason why he doesn't really stick to one accent and just throws stuff. But Jack's been around. It's kind of like me. He's been all over this fine country and lost some teeth along the way. So,
yeah. I mean, I've been told when I get amped up that a little bit of a Southern accent comes out because most of my first year in the Navy was actually spent down there in Florida, Mississippi, Alabama.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, I get very loud when I get riled up. I've been told I have a very loud voice. And sometimes you'll get that kind of Midwest, those Midwest words thrown in there,
Gotcha.
Oh, hell no. And it just, for some reason, it just comes out like, I don't know, somebody's chasing around the bandit for a couple years.
All right. So, as far as, you mentioned kind of a bucket list sort of thing. Do you have anything like that as far as like goals and stuff for wrestling?
I didn't when I started. I just wanted to get my foot in the door. Now, I mean, there's a laundry list of people I would absolutely love to wrestle. Some definitely more than once. Some like every single day if I could, because they're that fun to get in the ring and have just, could be anything. It could be a 5-minute, nothing of a match. It could be an Iron Man. I don't care. So the list is, it's an ongoing thing. Everybody has that list. The list of people who want to do things. Whatever. Some are realistic. Some aren't. Okay, I really want to have a match with Finn Balor, but no one would believe that match. It would be just drizzling shit. There are some people that I love wrestling constantly, that I would love to see in new areas. I would love to wrestle some of the same old people, but just in front of a new audience. Just to get the business over. I've only wrestled Jason Strife, I believe, twice in 5 years. I would love to do that again. He's probably laughing his ass off watching this right now. And, no, that ain't happening. Duke Cornell. Duke's got his own issues right now, and I'll let him deal with those in his sweet time. And I would love to step in the ring with Duke again. Every single time is fun. Every single time I step in the ring with Donnie Pepper Cricket, we have a great time. Every single time I step in with Brendan, I want to rip off his frickin' ears. I'd love to main event like a stadium show. Eventually. Something. Yeah. I would like to win a major championship.
Okay.
Again. Tag team championships are fun to have. They're great. I've been the tag team champion for PWP. I've been tag team champion for Magnum. Everybody wants their own piece of the pie.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Everybody, when you're a tag team, we did this together. but just the feeling of holding a belt by yourself and saying, I want that again. And last time my one singles championship got kind of cut short.
I was gonna say it did seem a little short.
Rising Phoenix champion got cut a little too short, and that's always that's been a burr in my saddle for a while. It'd be nice to have a singles championship. You know,
I can understand that. You know, nice being a part of the team, but you know,
I did cross one off. I wasn't gonna put one on, but I ended up crossing it off as soon as it happened. So, production in did a show in Austin with PWP. Austin Davis, great guy, runs it. Wrestlers are fantastic. We recently had a show down there with King Haku. For those of you who know King Haku, Ming, just that character, that man scared the bejesus out of me. There's only really been there's been 3 wrestlers that are really scared me. Papa Shango, The Undertaker, and of course, me.
You know what? Coincidentally, my 3. Same.
And if you've only seen him in wrestling, good God, when you see him in real life, you will be scared out of your mind. He's the nicest man in the world. He is so wonderful. He shook my hand, was very nice, and on my bucket list, I want to get chopped in the chest by Haku.
Oh boy.
And I told this to somebody, and they said, "You're out of your mind." No, the eyes as big as in the place. You got to be kidding me. But watch the show. I figure I'll ask him afterwards. He's busy getting ready for doing his thing and selling merchandise and doing.
Yeah.
I'll wait till afterwards. And he got in a match with Candyman. And when I'll tell you, when he hit one chop in that ring, I said, "Nope, well, writing that one off." That's not going on the bucket list. I'm glad with the handshake. Thank you, sir. Very nice meeting you. I was terrified of you as a child. I'm still terrified of you now. Have a good night. No.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not one man that I would want to get chopped by, that's for sure.
I mean, yeah, and then you see it, and no.
Oh, yeah. You see those people that, they go to chop somebody, and it's not even you, but you're like, oh, God, you can feel it in your chest.
Oh, yeah.
Haku is one that I can definitely say would be one of those that I would think that of, for sure.
There were a couple that were on that list. If Haku is off it, there's a lot of people that are falling. So, like, I wanted to get chopped by Big Show. I saw that. No, I wanted to get chopped by Brian Cage.
Ooh.
And he was I saw him do that. I was, nope, that's off too. So maybe just putting people on the bucket list to chop me in the chest. It's already a losing battle.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, especially, oh boy, match that just happened on AEW Dynamite, that match with Samoa Joe and Minoru Suzuki. Good Lord, people won't be able to see this because they can't see my shorts, but my shorts are red and their chests were the color of my shorts.
But I know for a fact they probably went backstage and go, "That was great. Don't talk to me for like a year. That hurt. Why did you do that?" Wrestlers and wrestling fans, we're kind of a slightly sadistic group. It's like the most dangerous cosplay you've ever done. So like that is an honor to some wrestling fans in some parts of the world. You know, in Japan, you used to see documentaries of wrestlers going around all the time, and they'd stop in restaurants. Please, can you hold my arms behind my back and chop me? And for a while,
I've seen documentaries of it.
Yeah, and for a while, I like, I wanted to have that list of people like who've known, and it seems like every time I get to a name on that list, I get an opportunity to meet them. Nope, not happening. No, I chicken out very quickly.
Well, at least getting to meet him's cool.
Yeah.
Though.
Oh yeah. He was very quiet, very reserved. I don't gush a whole lot in front of somebody when I meet them. It's, you know, it can get kind of rude. I accidentally did that to Hacksaw Jim Duggan when I did it for the first time. Like when I saw him, I was the last in line to go and take a picture with him and shake his hand. And just before I got up there, they pulled him aside to shoot a commercial. Because the camera just showed up. So I literally looked at him and turned into a little kid, and I was like, I've waited 30 years for this handshake. I can wait another 15 minutes. Okay. I felt horrible afterwards because I turned into this bubbling mess in front of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. In his mind, he's just staring at me like, all right, kid. Oh, bye.
Oh man, I can just imagine somebody that I would probably get that way with if I ever got to meet him. My all-time favorite, Stone Cold Steve Austin. If I got to meet him, I'd be.
It's like when I am a reformed alcoholic. I haven't drank in about 11 years, but when Stone Cold, like, that might have contributed to my alcoholism. And like in my early 20s was a lot of just Stone Cold videos, and is he gonna come back? And when he does, yep, we're gonna crash a couple beers, we're gonna pour, yeah. Oh man. The other one, I probably, yeah. Stone Cold. The Rock, not so much anymore. Like, I love your movies.
No, I can understand you there. Another thing I like to ask a lot of the guys is your thoughts on like the current state of professional wrestling. Is like, I was just discussing this the other day with a promoter from Warrior Wrestling. It's like, we both feel like right now, as it might not be as popular as it was back in like the Attitude Era, but the sheer number of promotions out there for independent wrestling, for wrestling on TV, there's so much out there that if you don't like one thing, odds are you can find something you like.
Absolutely. The current state, because there is so much wrestling to be found, there's going to be a lot of mixed opinions just depending on where you go and what you're a fan of as to how you think professional wrestling is progressing. I'm just happy it's still around. I'm with the pandemic and things shutting down, I'm happy that professional wrestling is still going strong. It was scary for a while.
That
was scary for a while. We've gotten through most of the worst of it. I would like to see certain things in professional wrestling would make me a little bit happier. I would like to see people who don't, I guess, do so much deep dive into the inner workings of professional wrestling. Just have fun. I wish people would just show up. You've got the ticket, you know, maybe have a cold brew in their hand. Oh, who's this guy? Let's watch him. Oh yeah, you know, cheer for the good guy, boo for the bad guy. Just be a part of what we're doing. I don't think there's enough of that. I think there's too much of people who are kind of either so absorbed in the idea that maybe they can, you know, they can show people, oh, this is my art form too, you know, and here's how they do this, and here's how they do that. And I just want people to show up and, you know, witness the joy of professional wrestling. In this world, there are very few things to get people distracted from just how horrible something there are. There's only so long you can sit and watch Netflix or watch this or watch that.
Yeah.
So that physical act of going out to a show, seeing your local independent professional wrestling company, like a PWP, like Magnum Pro, like CW, like Liberty or Flagship Wrestling, or any one of the great wrestling organizations in your area, especially here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
If people would just go, bring your friends. It doesn't matter if they like professional wrestling. Bring them to the shows. I don't like professional wrestling. Fine. There's a bar. Come have a few drinks, and I will watch professional wrestling, and you can help me watch professional wrestling. You know?
No, I'm with you there. I definitely feel like I get the curiosity behind like the inner workings, but I feel like in that there's a lot of people that get a little too analytical and critical about it, and if they would just sit back and enjoy the show, they would find out that they'd have a hell of a lot more fun.
And it's one of those things that wrestlers really appreciate, when the fans get into the act. Like, not physically get in it. Don't jump the rail. Don't get in the ring.
Yeah.
It won't end well for you. But getting into the interaction as a fan, okay? That's cheering for the people you love, booing for the people you hate, fine. That, there's a very fine line on that, but we love, that's what we work off of. We eat that up, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that you could show up at any one of these shows with a sign and a marker, not knowing anybody who's in there, find out one name, write it down there, and just hold it up. That pops more people in the back. That pops more of the guys and girls in this business than anybody. Like, hey, you see that? That dude had a sign out there with my name on it, you know, or that person was wearing a shirt that I sold this show. And, oh, look, they brought their, you know, their cousins, and yeah, you know, the state of pro wrestling, it's always in flux.
Yeah.
There's good times, there's bad times, there's historic rises, there's meteoric crashes and burns, but you gotta be there to witness it. Okay?
I totally get you there.
Good wrestling, bad wrestling, it's still wrestling. Come on out and have yourself a good time. You can make fun of the bad wrestling, we make fun of it too. You can praise the great wrestling, are the things that you will walk away and remember 40 or 50 years later. You know, there are people probably at live WWE shows or at local independents that have seen one thing that has changed their entire perception on professional wrestling, either good or bad. And that's the roll of the dice you take when you go in the ring. You know, when you go to perform.
I completely agree. All right, so we have, well, you have a show here on the 27th, I believe. PWP, right?
PWP.
27th.
PWP at the wedding room. It's going to be me and Moonshine. I've just about had enough of these messengers.
Yep, I've seen the videos recently.
We've had it with Plain Jane and Vanilla Bean, and they wanted to put their tag team titles on the line. Well, that's fine. We'll be more than willing to take them off.
That match right there in and of itself is going to be a hell of a fight, that's for sure.
I don't say this lightly. There haven't been too many people that I get in the ring with that don't hit hard in professional wrestling. These two gentlemen are close to the top of the list of people I've been in the ring with. They can put the knuckles to you, put the screws to you. They're also very wily and clever wrestlers. I'm just a country boy who likes to fight. You know, I don't know too much about, the tangle holds and the, fingers going one way or another, but I know a right hand to the face, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And they're gonna find that out.
Oh, yeah. Nope, I am definitely planning on being there. I know I at least got one interview that I'm doing after the show. So, definitely looking forward to being there for that.
All right. Well, we hope to see you there. Bring your family, bring your kids. Don't bring your dog. The cat's okay. We had a problem with some chickens. You're going to have to do it on a case-by-case basis. Yes, please. My goal in professional wrestling, talking about bucket lists earlier. I don't want to be known as, best mid-wrestler, whatever. I don't want to be known as the best tag team guy. I want to be known as a guy who goes out there and puts on a hell of a show every night in front of new fans and old, just to give people the experience of the thing that I love, professional wrestling. Okay? Now, if titles come out of that, which Message is going to find out real quickly that that's been known to happen, then c'est la vie. Then that's what it's going to be. But the only way that you're going to experience it, you got to come down. You got to buy your ticket. You got to sit in your seat and just watch a good old-fashioned slobber knocker. Because I got plenty of teeth left to lose, despite the contrary.
That statement you just made about the slobber knocker. Yeah, no, I have a feeling your match that night's definitely going to be that.
We got a couple surprises. In store for people.
Okay.
I'm hoping I get to walk out with Tim Boston's beard as a trophy by the end of the night.
That'd be a pretty good trophy there.
Put it on my cat.
Definitely going to, in the description of this, on the YouTube version, I'm going to try to get it on the podcast version. Your social medias, and then I'm going to try to also get a link up for tickets, because I plan on having this available before that PWP show.
All right.
So one of the final things I like to do with everybody, kind of do a little bit of a speed round sort of thing. I name people, maybe some promotions. You give me your thoughts.
Okay. Sounds good. Fire away.
All right. First off, Magnum Wrestling.
Highest caliber in the Midwest.
They do put on a good product, that is for sure. Secondly, another promotion you're very familiar with, PWP, Pro Wrestling Phoenix.
PWP is close to my heart. Great fan base, great energy. Chris is a scary dude, but he puts on a fantastic show. And love seeing the crowd. Can't wait to see him again.
Yep, I definitely wouldn't want to get on Chris's bad side. I mean, I'm on his good side. You know, he actually officiated my wedding, so
that's one hell of an officiant for a wedding.
Yeah. All right.
Ow.
Oh, he wanted to do this during the actual ceremony, but my mom and my mother-in-law were both like adamant against it. So I convinced them, hey, how about we just do that during the rehearsal? So there's a part from, I forget which old Monty Python movie, but the line, marriage is what we does together today.
The priest from the Princess Bride, yeah, that's wild. Whoa, wow.
I got him to actually do that during the rehearsal. I busted out laughing.
Oh my god. I'd pay for that video.
You know, I'm gonna have to see if there is one. All right. Next, your tag team partner for this next PWP show, Moonshine Russell.
Fantastic dude. Do not get him in a bad mood. I have to ask him about his beard though. I want to know if his beard too. I can only get this, and then it just stops here. But I have to.
Yeah.
He is. The thing about Moonshine, I do have to speak on this. Both of us got together because we got kind of wrong in the tag team division.
Okay.
We threw Moonshine under the bus and out of the picture, and the Messengers took Uncle Ricky from me. So we've built a good relationship. We've got a good thing going on here, and we're gonna ride till the wheels fall off.
All right. Yeah. No. He's definitely a good person to have as a partner. As far as the beard goes, I mean, if you're watching the YouTube version, this takes a while.
Yeah. Next question.
Guy familiar with Moonshine Russell, and a guy we kind of talked about a little bit ago, Duke Cornell.
Take his deal; it's worth it.
I've jokingly told him on some of his tweets and videos, it's like, I'll take it. What deal we got? I'll take it.
Fantastic mind for the business.
Oh yeah.
He's one of the better people to have in a locker room. He explains things in a way that not only do you understand them, but you understand where he's coming from on that. You understand the psychology behind why you shouldn't do this and why you should do this instead.
Gotcha.
He's a good dude.
Very that he is. He definitely is a person with a good mind for the business, that's for sure. All right. Next and last but not least, a guy that's familiar with Duke Cornell recently, not all that long ago, made his return to wrestling, Bo God.
Oh, God. Bo, oh God. It's hard for me to say something very, very short about Bo. Bo was in part of a battle royal, which was the first match I was ever in. And everyone else, all the fresh fish, for some reason, were running towards another very terrifying man in the ring, a man by the name of Abu Colossus.
Ooh, yeah.
And they were all getting beaten up. And I decided that was not for me. So who would I be able to find in the ring that might be a little less rough and tumble than this large man, Abu Colossus? Oh, what about Bo? That was a horrible idea. I went after Bo, and I got jumped by, I think, 3 people. And then Bo put me on all fours on the mat, dropped his pants, put his underwear on the back of my head, and ran his underwear up and down the back of my head. I was eliminated shortly after. He's one of those people on that list of people I want to wrestle. That it would absolutely be fantastic. It will not be a hardcore match. Bo in a hardcore match terrifies me.
It would terrify me too.
But I would be happy if it's a thumb wrestling match, any kind of match. Just please God, no hard. I don't have that many teeth left.
Yeah, nope. There's a reason they call him, at least in Omaha, the Deathmatch Daddy.
Yes, and he is a fantastic dude. I would hate to take some of those things that have made him legendary, though. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, nope. I would have to agree. I'm glad in some of the matches that he's been in that I've just been on the outside looking in. All right. So one last thing I like to talk about with each of my guests is at least one thing non-wrestling related. Like, what is an interest you have outside of the wrestling business?
Sky's the limit. I dabble in a little bit of everything. I love video games. I also love hiking and fishing and camping and rappelling and rock climbing. I haven't driven in about 11 years, so I would love to do that again. It's literally a jack of all trades in a master stuff. Right now, the one that's kind of keeping me going right now, that's probably video games.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been a big video game fan my entire life. I still have my old ColecoVision. So that shows you how old I am in video games. And I think right now, a couple games are killing me. Elden Ring. It's from software game. It's brutal. The same people who made Dark Souls. So you know you're gonna die a whole lot of times.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 just came out with the Witch Queen a little while ago. New expansion for that. Oh God, you name it. I have like 8 or 9 games that I already on a rotating list that I have to stick to. Otherwise, I'll be playing the same game for the next 8 months.
I got a few myself. My wife for Valentine's Day got me the NWO for Life edition of the WWE 2K22, and that's pretty solid. I'm loving it. After I got through the little issue that they had for a while with connecting to the online servers, after I got past that, it's solid.
Nice.
Another game that I found the first one on the Microsoft Games for Gold that I ended up having to get the second one, the Jurassic World Evolution.
Okay.
It's like Zoo Tycoon, but Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and that's I used to love, like, you'd have Sim City. So the Sid Meier's Civilization style games, I used to love those too. But yeah, like SimCity for me was always ridiculous because I was too young to understand what city infrastructure was.
Yeah.
So the whole play, like, I'd play for a week and the whole thing would fall to pot because I didn't. What do you mean I didn't put in, like, a sewage system? Now I got to tear everything up and put a sewage system in? Fine. Done with this game.
You know, it definitely took me a little bit to getting used to that part of that game myself. I used to love playing SimCity. There's the Zoo Tycoon and the Roller
Coaster Tycoon. Yep. Love
those.
I think I've destroyed more family vacations on Roller Coaster Tycoon than anyone. I think I made one that had, like, it had 4 consecutive 0G loops and then just ended. It would just launch people off. And I felt horrible about it, but I just kept sending families up there. Go ahead.
I remember one time I underestimated it was one of the loop tracks, and I underestimated the length of the track after the loop, and I opened the ride and it went woo.
See ya.
Yeah, no, that didn't end good on that one.
It's that idea. It's that idea of playing God in video games. It's so fun.
That is true. That is very true. All right. So that's about all I had. I did want to give you a chance to, maybe further plug that PWP show, any other shows you've got coming up, and plug your social media so people can know where to find you.
Okay. Let's see. As we've stated earlier, we do have a PWP show. It's going to be on the 27th at the Waiting Room Lounge in Benson, Nebraska. Get your tickets at etix.com or at any Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream Shop. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can look for Adam Rosen or Jack Darling on Facebook. JDarling357 at Snapchat, at Deliverance Darling on TikTok, Sudog83 if you're a gamer on Twitch, Xbox, PlayStation Network. Boy named Sue83 at Instagram. At Adam Blake Rosen 1 or at Deliverance Jack on Twitter. If you'd like to work out with me and you're fans of Garmin Connect, follow me, Adam Rosen. I will work out with you. I usually walk 5 to 10 miles a day. Please join me. As far as anything further down the pipeline, tune into your local independent professional wrestling organization. Support them, nurture them. They need your help. The more you put into them, the more that wrestlers like me and, who knows, maybe a few surprise guests will show up.
Yeah, no, if the crowds don't turn out, we can't get those big names that everybody wants to have come in.
Absolutely right.
All right, so that's about all we have for today. I want to thank Jack Darling here for taking the time to talk to me. Be sure, like he said, okay, there, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Be sure.
I felt reading off the list of social media sites that I'm on.
Anyways, be sure to get your tickets to that show, April 27th in Benson. You're not going to want to miss it.
Thanks a lot, Mo. Take care.